They have made their subjects themselves subjects, and they accept this. The monarchy should be abolished, and its wealth should be distributed to the poor and to the taxpayers. It is an absolute disgrace that it can milk the country dry, both of liberty, property, and wealth.
But all they are is really a symbol of everything else. The monarchy, again, they don't pee or poo. They're much above us. God gave them their nobility. Again, everything they have is stolen.
Correct.
You well know. How about that diamond that the queen wears in a crown over there, where they got that from controlling India for over 200 years, robbing trillions of dollars, killing millions of people all over the planet. The sun never sets on the British Empire. But what the importance of this is that this is a symbol of society. Just as they roll out the red carpet, and you said dress them up in the costumes, they do the same crap when the prime ministers, the presidents, and the chancellors show up. They roll out the red carpet, and all these clowns dress up in the uniforms and salute them. And we are supposed to look up to, quote, dignitaries. We're just pieces of crap. We're just plantation workers of Slavelandia.
Well, we shouldn't take it anymore. And in America, both political parties have contributed to this, no matter who's in the White House, whether it's George W. or Barack Obama or Donald Trump or Joe Biden. The president has way too much power. We show way too much obeisance to him. Presidents spend money however they want. Presidents kill whoever they want. Presidents start whatever wars they want. Presidents have slush funds to spend. Joe Biden is beginning World War III in Ukraine by continuing to ship billions and billions of military hardware there. His intelligence community is feeding lies and exaggerations to the mainstream media, which repeat it over and over again. This is not the presidency that the Constitution authorizes. It's not the presidency that James Madison gave us. It's almost a form of royalty. Granted, it changes every 4 or 8 years, but the power and the obeisance is the same, no matter who it is and no matter which party it is.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's that just how they pump up that we're supposed to bow to the queen and the king. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? How dare you say this? I don't count. They're better than me. This is what they're doing. They're royalty. They make the presidents, all of these people, from the king, the queen, down to the presidents, prime ministers, and chancellors, down to the governors, the senators, and the congressmen, even to the mayors.
Yes.
And the assemblymen and assemblywomen. They make up this crap that they're better than we are. They're royalty. They're royalty, and we have to obey them. And so when you're going back to the system and how you began talking about how the government and the corporations are all working together, they're all against us. They're only in it for them. We don't count. They only count on us to steal our money in the name of taxes so they could rob us blind, live high lives, and care less about us paying more. And you talked about the Ukraine war. Not a peep from the prostitutes, the media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters, how this Ukraine war and the United States and NATO supporting it to the levels that it has keeps bringing up inflation across the board.
Right. It's also going to bring up a bitter, freezing, cold winter in most of Europe because they're not going to have, and what they do have, they're not going to be able to afford the heating oil and the natural gas on which they have grown dependent because of the idiotic, counterproductive sanctions that Biden has unilaterally imposed. Again, sanctions are not imposed by an act of Congress. There's no debate. The president just does it. More unconstitutional authority in his hands to steal property from people. Those sanctions are killing Europe, hurting the U.S., and barely having an effect in Russia.
This war that the United States, there's absolutely no blowback at all. All it is that we have to support Ukraine, one of the most corrupt countries, according to the European Union. It is the most corrupt country in Europe for decades. Oligarchs run it. This clown boy that played a comedian on TV that became president, as he played the president of TV on a sitcom, very tied into the oligarchs, and with a track record of a lot of dough and a lot of money all in a lot of places, is now this guy is elevated as though he is one of the most brilliant, patriotic people in the world that we have to support. This isn't what America was founded upon. George Washington's farewell address: don't get involved in foreign entanglements, especially in Europe. This stuff has been going back and forth for centuries between them or among them.
And John Adams: don't go around the world looking for monsters to slay, because there will be no end to your search. And instead of delivering liberty, you'll be delivering force. And every time there's a foreign war that the United States is involved in, whether it's directly, like World War I and World War II, or whether it's secretly, like now in Ukraine, that tramples liberty at home. It always happens. What will Joe Biden do when the Russians are about to overrun Kyiv? Will he introduce American troops there? Will NATO enter Ukraine? Then we really will have World War III. These people really think that the Ukrainians can beat back the Russians? I'm not talking about justice. Putin's a butcher, but he's their butcher, and he has the power to win this war. It's hard for me to accept that the American government really thinks that by pouring billions in there, it's doing nothing more than delaying the inevitable. And during that delay, hundreds of thousands of human beings will be killed.
Yeah, and again, the numbers now, according to antiwar.com, $67 billion of our money has gone to Ukraine since February 24th, when Russia invaded Ukraine. And again, I'm totally opposed to the invasion. None of my business. It's been going. They're going to take down the statue of Catherine the Great. Now, when was that? Catherine the Great? Oh, it's about 1750. Because they hate her, the Ukrainians. Oh, you mean this has been going on since then?
Easily.
Back and forth, and we're going to fix it? You know, this.
So I don't know how it ends. I mean, Putin will never ever accept an independent Ukraine allied to the West. I don't know how Joe Biden gets out of this. You know, this is not going to end before the midterms, but something will happen before the 2024 presidential election. I don't know if Biden's going to run for re-election. The Democrats would be really crazy to re-nominate him. But how this war ends, it can only end with a Russian victory. Their might, the strength of their army and their military equipment is overwhelming. But yet, if you read the Wall Street Journal, conservative publication, New York Times, Washington Post, liberal publications, they'll all tell you this morning Ukraine is winning, Russia is on